there is now a growing gap between the military top ranks to the political ranks. We've seen it with the chief IDF, Eyal Zamir, discouraging or not agreeing for the next step of the operation as the prime minister wants.
4 journalists are among 20 reported killed by an Israeli strike on a hospital in the Gaza Strip. A Reuters cameraman and an Associated Press journalist were among those killed in the attack at Nasser Hospital. It follows Israel striking Yemen's capital for the first time since Houthi rebels joined in the regional war. Well, Tal Schneider from the Times of Israel joins me now. Tal, hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Thanks very much for being with us. What do we know about this strike on the hospital then?
We have now, just like a few minutes ago, a statement by IDF saying that he opened up an inquiry to see what went wrong, and the IDF doesn't in any way target journalists and civilians. So this is the latest. This is quite a rare announcement by the IDF acknowledging acknowledging this strike and saying they need to inquire what happened, what took place.
The IDF seem to quite often announce inquiries, don't they? I mean, do they ever seem to bear much fruit?
They do. They open up inquiries and they bring up the results. Sometimes the media doesn't follow through because, when you open up inquiry and you have results within, sometimes 10 days or so, sometimes the media just goes to other issues. But they do have internal inquiries being held.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Israel's Security Cabinet is expected to discuss a ceasefire deal, which Hamas has already accepted on Tuesday. The IDF's chief of staff is the latest to urge Benjamin Netanyahu to take the deal. Do you think, is there any chance he might do that, Tal?
We don't really know. As you mentioned, there is now a growing gap between the military top ranks to the political ranks. We've seen it with the chief IDF, Eyal Zamir, discouraging or not agreeing for the next step of the operation as the prime minister wants. He made his statement clear. And now, again, as you said, within just a couple of days, he's now announcing that Israel should take the offer to release a partial release of the hostages. This government is influenced heavily by very extreme ministers. The 2 ministers that are from the extreme right wing, they keep making threats that they will step out of the government if the government will decide on a ceasefire. So if the prime minister wants to go into a ceasefire, he has a majority, but he knows that this is the end of this political government, the end of the term. The election is scheduled to October 26th, so it would be a dissolvement a year ahead of time, which is not something, it happens a lot. It happens in Israel a lot. So, it's possible. But yeah. I don't know. The prime minister is trying to keep his term as lengthy as he can. And this is one of the reasons for this division between him and the chief IDF.
Yeah, understood. Look, finally, Israeli fighter jets struck the Yemeni presidential palace over the weekend. This is after the Houthis fired a missile carrying a cluster warhead. This is the first time this sort of thing has happened in a while. Should we see this as being like a one-off, or is this the beginning of an escalation in the conflict there, do you think?
It's not just the first time it happens in a while. This is the first time altogether that Yemens are shooting cluster missiles, as you said, at Israel. The cluster missiles that we were, shot at so far came from Iran only. This is definitely something that was probably imported by Iran to Yemen, and they both are using it against the civilian population. The not Iron Dome, the other interceptors were at hand and were able to intercept partially the cluster, but some of it fell on citizens' houses. Yemen, we never had anything to do with Yemen up until this war, and now it's been 2 years, almost 2 years, that they're shooting rockets at civilian population. We don't share a border, we don't share any disputes, we have nothing to do with them, and they are serving as a terror arm of Iran, towards Israel.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. That is Tal Schneider from the Times of Israel. Thank you, Tal. Really appreciate your time.